Yeah, so we'll talk about the history of the formula, also the data behind, as well as some mechanics or fundamentals. Basically, as it was said, the formula has been evolving through the years. We started in 2010 with 6 components fitting our calculations. Now we are using more data. We are using 13 components. But also in the middle, we changed because we learned, we have now a deeper understanding of the QI from the data side. We changed the way we combine the data. For example, we are not weighting economies with population or exports or GDP anymore, as we did in the past. We also changed the way we normalize data, because it is important to normalize the data, because at the end of the day, we are summing numbers and running a big average. But beyond these technical details, in general, I would say that we improved significantly the data collection process. Because we were more people doing the job this time, we were able to run cross-validations. We went against the original sources to validate the numbers. So now we have more confidence about the accuracy of the numbers we used to feed the formula, and we are sharing it through the database. We also learn from errors in the past, and we got very valuable and rich feedback from experts from the field of metrology and accreditation and standardization that helped us to improve the design of the formula. So in the next slide, you will see the 13 components that are feeding our calculations. So these are the 13 numbers behind the formula of the overall score. We have measures for metrology, for standardization, and accreditation. We arrange here the KPIs according to different types. We have scores for membership, we have scores for coverage, and we have a column in the middle named count off, where we count a lot of things, a variety of things. The group of KPIs called membership and coverage has a very good feature for us, which is they are not correlated to size of the economy in terms of GDP or exports or population. And this is good because we want to attack the problem of the size effect. The size effect problem has to do with the fact that larger economies tend to be up in the ranking. And because these terms are not correlated, somehow we attenuate this problem from the very beginning or from the design of the formula itself. So for membership, we go to the international regional organizations, most relevant organizations for metrology, standardization, and accreditation. We check the membership status, and the stronger the status, the higher the score the economy obtained. For coverage, we do something similar, but now we are creating basically a percentage, a number between 0 and 100 that express the degree of coverage of the matter we are trying to measure. For example, when we go to the key comparison database from the International Committee of Weight and Measures, we get the calibration and measurement capabilities certificates. So there are 9 metrology areas in total. So if an economy has at least 1 certificate in each of the 9 areas, they will hold the highest score. The same for the participation in the consultative committees of the same commission. And also we do the same for conformity assessment bodies coverage, where we review the 16 different scopes of accreditation, and we count how many of these scopes an economy has at least 1 accredited body. In the middle, we have the column count off. We count different things. By far, this has been the most time-consuming part of the data collection process. Let me start with the easiest one. We use the ISO survey numbers for management system certificates. We also check the participation of the economies in the technical committees according to the same source. And we got the numbers from the key comparison database related to the key and supplementary comparisons that supports the calibration and measurement capabilities. And we also count conformity assessment bodies. We count calibration labs for the metrology pillar. We count product certification, management system, and testing labs. So these are the 16 numbers, there are 13 numbers, the 13 components behind the formula. Something really interesting that happened during the process of counting was that we realized that in particular small economies, even when they don't have national accreditation bodies, they do have accredited bodies, but they do have accredited bodies overseas or abroad. So we have to consider, in order to recognize their installed capacity in terms of accreditation, we have to go to the sources in a second round and check the origin and destination of these accreditation services trade, let's say. And this is what we call cross-border accreditation. We are considering these numbers. This was a huge improvement in the latest version of the formula and in the index in general, because helped us to better distinguish between the countries in the lower part of the table. And this became a study itself, and we are very happy to announce that very soon we are about to publish a paper regarding this particular subject. So at the highest level, the formula has just 3 terms that we are averaging at the end. It's quite simple. And in the next slide, if you see inside each term, you will see the same logic. You'll see that metrology has 5 components and we are running an average. And then we are running a big average at the end to get the final score. But the question now could be, what are we summing? Because we said we had countings and scores and percentage. So now is when the normalization process came into the scene. We use the percentile ranks for transforming the numbers and be able to sum everything up. The percentiles are just the position of the economy in the list. So if you go to the next slide, the final version of the formula, the full version, each number is a position in a list. So we are running a big average about and telling with the GQII the average position of each economy in each of the 13 lists. And that's it. That's the way you want to understand and interpret the global score. So now you know the first line of the formula has to do with metrology, the second line has to do with standardization, and the third with accreditation. You also know that the pillars are equally weighted, the components are equally weighted as well, and now you know how to understand or read the general or global score as an average position across the 13 different components. So hope you enjoyed this part of the presentation, and I get back to Juan. Thank you.